We're live on YouTube, starting us up on the Rumble. Move this over here. And good afternoon, hello, welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. I'm A.O. Xander.
Golden Loon.
And UVRU, thank you so much for coming in and watching. Today is Phrase Day, aka Friday, February 13th. That's right, Friday the 13th, 2026. Go figure. Well, I mean, like, of course I'll have a Friday 13th before my birthday several times in my life. I mean, I have no choice,
Yes.
you know? Yeah, this show is about interesting and important events that occurred on this calendar date, throughout the annals of recorded history, starting with the year 528. Roman Emperor Justinian appointed a commission to compile a single code of imperial constitutions. The Justinian Code published 529, and it's telling me to image search this, so I will. There's a couple things, actually, we're going to image search, to my knowledge, in this show, in this episode here today. But it says here, the Justinian Code, to oversee his new empire, Justinian ordered legal experts to consolidate old Roman laws into a single law code. It served as a legal basis for criminal justice, marriage, property, slavery, and women's rights. They gave women's rights, or I guess lack thereof back then, but they were still thinking about them, even back then. The law code became one of the most important legacies of the Byzantine Empire and served as a basis for laws for the next 900 years.
Jeez.
That's important.
Yeah.
1258, Baghdad, then a city of 1 million, fell to the Mongols as the Abbasid Caliphate was destroyed, with tens of thousands slaughtered, ending the Islamic Golden Age. We spoke about this a couple days ago, actually. I think this was one of the examples of it being removed from the primary source. You know, we're running into quite a bit of those.
Yeah.
But I can pretty much confirm, at least, because like the second source, you can see here I have something there from there. So both sources are saying that today is when this happened. 1322, the central tower of Ely Cathedral fell on the night of the 12th to the 13th, so last night. 1352, War of the Straits, the Battle of Bosphorus, was fought in a stormy sea into the night between the Genoese, Venetian, Angonnese, and Byzantine fleets. A four-way battle, or at least 4 participants. That's a lot of wildness on the water there.
Yeah.
1502, Nicholas de Ovando y Caceres, new governor of the Indies, set sail for the Indies with a fleet of 30 ships, the largest ever fleet to the New World.
That's a lot of ships.
It is a lot of ships. Here's an artist renditioning of that. Look at all the ships in the harbor. This looks more like a settlement, rather than the actual full city. Or maybe it is the full city. I'm not sure. I don't know. Because it depicts, this doesn't look too awfully big. This is probably the city. I don't know.
There's a city, and what's that off to the side? Like
the farmlands. Like I can see a bunch of wheat and everything.
Like. That's okay.
So
so that's the city, and that's their source for food.
Well, I don't know if this is a settlement that this is where they're going to.
Oh, I don't know.
So, but you can see
I
this
would
obviously
think it is where they're going to. Otherwise, why would you paint it?
Well, what I'm saying is obviously these depict the 30 ships.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this depicts where they're leaving from or where they're going to. Is this the old world or the new world? That's what I'm saying. But the cities in the old world look like this. So, and this actually looks like stone walls. So I think this is the old world. Because the new world, they had walls, but they were made of like lumber and timber and everything. So, anyway, 1503, Decivita di Barletta, famous challenge between 13 Italian and 13 French knights near Barletta, southern Italy. All right. 1542, Catherine Howard, the 5th wife of Henry VIII of England, was executed for adultery. This guy just killing women left and right. 1578, Tycho Branch first sketched the Tychonic system of solar system. It's telling me to image search this, but I do have an image for this. Look at that. This is what he believed, because it's not like...
So that's the Earth in the center, I would assume.
Yeah, it looks... Actually, yeah, I see the continent of Africa, it looks like. So, yeah. Okay. So, it looks like...
and that's what they believed, everything rotated around us.
Yes. But from the looks of the different rings, see, like, when you look at an image of the solar system, more or less you think that the solar system is on a flat plane. It's not. Now, it's not circular like this, but, they're like one thing might be orbiting this way, another thing might be orbiting this way, it's... So they still had the concept of things orbiting not on a flat plane. They knew of 3D space.
Yeah.
So that's what I wanted to point out. But yeah, I want to also image search this. I just found that really interesting, like even back then.
Very much.
So images. Oh yeah, here we go. What does this say? Let's see if I can get a bigger image. His sketches of the tectonic system, a modified geocentric model in order to explain the motions of bodies in the solar system in the late 16th century, which combines what he saw as the mathematical benefits of the Copernican system with the philosophical and physical benefits of the Ptolemaic system. Tycho, in his lifetime as an astronomer and alchemist, and for his accurate and comprehensive astronomical and planetary observations. Okay, so this actually looks like what he sketched out right here.
Yeah.
But that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and actually, no, I think it looks like here, it looks like this. He has the sun in the center, because I see this has to be the Earth, because there's another smaller circle that I believe has to represent the moon, because the moon rotates around the Earth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if the moon rotates around the Earth, but everything else doesn't rotate around the Earth, then what are they rotating, and what are we rotating? So it looks like the sun is in the center here, and this is all the way back in 1578. So anyway, and remember, like, it was the late 1400s when Christopher Columbus crossed.
Yeah.
But more recent discoveries are starting to figure out that they didn't believe that the Earth was flat back then. They knew it was round, but they just didn't know that a whole other continent was over there. They
Right.
just thought it was just ocean until you hit India. But they didn't think that you would fall over the edge.
Right.
That's just ridiculous. 1633, Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei arrived in Rome for trial before the Inquisition for professing the belief that Earth revolves around the sun. Okay, so to directly contradict what I just said, this is what I'm saying. This was when the church was in power, but people.
The church had massive power.
Yes, but people kings and everything, they knew the truth. So maybe it was a combination of both. Maybe it was the common people thought that I don't know. I wasn't there, So man, I have never eaten my own shoe that hard. Well, actually, one time there was. But anyway, 1642, the Clergy Act became law, excluding bishops of the Church of England from serving in the House of Lords. 1668, Treaty of Lisbon, Spain recognized Portugal. That's pretty big right there. 1689, William and Mary were proclaimed co-rulers of England, and I initially was going to skip over that, but they work really fast. We will be talking about them here in another couple of years.
University named after William and Mary University.
I actually am alluding to that, so we'll get to that here in a minute. 1692, Glencoe Massacre. About 38 McDonald's were killed early in the morning by rival Campbell clan members, allegedly for not promptly pledging allegiance to the new king, William of Orange. Yikes. And 1693, as you said, the College of William and Mary opened in Williamsburg, Virginia. So within 4 years after they were proclaimed co-rulers, and they opened a college. That's really cool.
I didn't know William and Mary went that far back.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was that old of a university.
And now you do.
Yeah.
3 centuries ago, 1726, the Parliament of Negrites between Mapuche and Spanish authorities in Chile brought the end to the Mapuche uprising of 1723 to 1726. 1741, Andrew Bedford published the first American magazine, the American Magazine, and here it is, the American Magazine, a historical chronicle, what appears to be Roman numerals for the dates and everything.
Would that be the original cover?
I don't know. I looked it up, and it looks like as close as I could find to what it was. So I hope it was, and if not, at least I tried. 1777, Marquis de Sade was arrested without charge and imprisoned in Vincennes Fortress. He was a philosopher and writer, so he was probably saying and writing things that what appears like France didn't enjoy, so they just locked him up. 1795, the first state university in the U.S. opened, University of North Carolina. This was removed from the primary source, so I'm wondering if, once again, if it was a misplaced article. But then again, with the amount of articles on a daily basis removed from primary source, things altered and all that stuff, clearly they're working on this every day. And, I mean, I can understand the slip-up now and then, but almost on a daily basis, multiple articles removed, it's starting to look very suspicious. You don't screw up this much and have that many things misplaced. Yeah. Especially if you're working on a day-to-day basis, which clearly they are. Why would you put something in something like days, if not weeks, before the actual event? How do you do that? You either do it intentionally, or you're incredibly stupid, cripplingly stupid, or they're actively rewriting history, and I'm starting to actually report on falsified history. Who knows? 1799, the first U.S. law regulating insurance was passed by the Massachusetts legislature. 1832, the first appearance of cholera in London. 5 years later, riot in New York due to a combination of poverty and increase in the cost of flour. That would do it. 1849, the delegation of the Metropolitan Bishop Andrei Saguna handed out to the Emperor Franz Joseph I of Austria the general petition of Romanian leaders in Transylvania, Banat, and Bukovina, which demanded that the Romanian nation be recognized. Yeah, well, they'll send their vampires after you if you don't. So,
yeah, watch out.
1851, the siege of Gaeta ended with the capitulation of the defending fortress, effectively bringing an end to the kingdom of the Two Sicilies during Italian unification. Or, I guess, in this case, reunification.
So if they're unifying, does one king stay and the other one's gone? How does that work?
I don't know. There's... See, obviously we know that, Italy is a country.
Yeah.
Okay? But a lot of people know that Rome, if you study surface level of Roman Empire, it eventually broke into two halves, and then the Western Roman Empire, the actual Italy section of Rome, not that Constantinople part, disintegrated. What happened between that and the Rome, the country we knew today? They had to reunify at some point. So at some point, they separated back into city-states and all that stuff. And then Giuseppe Garibaldi, I think, was the guy's name, and this is part of it and everything. The kingdom of the Two Sicilies. Sicily is the island, and there are two kingdoms there. But that, was rolled into the kingdom of Italy during the whole Italian reunification.
Relatively speaking, a current reunification in our current history is Germany, east-west, and then you go to Berlin. That was and it's all been put back together.
That's kind of a different story. We're the ones who annihilated them, and rightfully so. But
well, it got carved up.
Yeah.
For whatever reasons irrelevant.
Yeah.
And then it's been put back together, and then you got the minor story in there is Berlin itself.
Yes. Yeah. Berlin was its own east-west within the east. Yeah. So, that's, I see the comparison. 1861, Abraham Lincoln declared U.S. president in Washington, D.C. And the first military action to result in the Medal of Honor as Bernard J.D. Irwin volunteered to lead rescue of 60 soldiers from Chiricahua Indians at Apache Pass, Arizona. Yikes. Godspeed and good luck there, soldier. We also have 1861, when I was talking about Italian unification.
Yeah.
The primary source states 1851, right here. Mm-hmm. And the secondary source states 1861. So we have a 10-year discrepancy. Yeah. They know the calendar date, but now we're separated by by a decade. So which one is it?
And it could be as easy as a typo.
Yes.
Put it in there, and then the computer automatically, chronologically puts it in an order.
Maybe.
From a typo. I said it could be.
Yeah. 1866, Jesse James robbed his first bank, stealing $15,000 from the Clay County Savings Association in Liberty, Missouri. 15, not 50. 1-5.
Yeah, 15,000 is a lot of money.
It is. Even today, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Back then, you know what? Let me look this up. 15,000, 1866. Nicosia.
I'm going to say 150,000.
Okay. Place your bets. 1856. All right. Stop your bets. 556,950. You are way off.
Way off.
Yeah. I was thinking you're overestimating. 1867, work began on the covering of the Seine, bearing Brussels' primary river and creating the modern central boulevards. And I actually have, this is an old photo, so it's a little small, but you can kind of see how they have the scaffolding for the ceiling thing, and they have it covered just down. That's really sad that they're burying a river. There's still tunnels and stuff. It still flows through.
Yeah.
But they built over it to allow more, surface vehicle traffic and everything. Yeah. But they're destroying a beautiful thing of nature. I don't know. If your populace is getting so big that you have to start, leveling mountains and burying rivers, maybe it's time to start going into other areas to populate.
Well, the human race says they can do whatever they want with nature.
Yeah, until nature
It's
snaps
us.
back.
Well, yeah, nature will always kick your ass.
Yeah, well, we gotta work within those parameters and stop thinking that we're hot shit, because soon we'll just be shit, as in a steaming pile. So, 1880, Thomas Edison observed thermonic emission, or thermionic emission, okay.
I don't know
1881,
what that is.
let me look this up here, thermionic emission. Let's see. I was going to try to glance over it because I didn't want to look into it, my brain.
Nah.
It is the liberation of charged particles. Oh, it's a light bulb.
Oh, okay.
Liberation of charged particles from a hot electrode whose thermal energy gives some particles enough kinetic energy to escape the material surface. So, like glowing with basically, like we covered this a couple days ago when we were talking about that light bulb. Like, it's not actually like producing light. It's heating something up so hot that it's glowing out of heat. But within, the incandescent light bulb, it's not condensing the heat outside of the light bulb, so that way it's not radiating heat. A heat lamp is just basically a light bulb without the glass part, and it's just letting the heat go out. So 1881, the feminist newspaper La Citoyenne was first published in Paris by activist Huberdine Acliert. Okay. 1886, painter Thomas Eakins resigned from Philadelphia Academy of Art after controversial use of male nudes in a co-ed art class. Yeah, I can see that. 1895 as well.
It's art. That's always the answer.
Well, if you have the hots for, because if it's co-ed, okay?
Yeah.
You have a hots for a girl, and you have the guy up in the nude. What if he's bigger than you? Then, I can see how that can really, mess up a lot of things. So, 1895, moving picture projector was patented, and here is it's a small image, but it's the only one I can find.
Yeah.
So movie image, 1899, a lot of weather. Okay, so we have here. Let me you see. We have negative 16 degrees in Minden, -1 New Orleans, -2 Tallahassee, -29 Pond in Arkansas, -40 Lebanon, Kansas. It's weird, there's Lebanon, Kansas. -40 in Warsaw, Missouri. Why do we have a Warsaw in Missouri? And why do we have so much weather? It's very weird. All of a sudden, cold snap. The whole thing. 907, English suffragists stormed British Parliament and 60 women were arrested. In 1912, Olympic boxing gold medalist Johnny Douglas took 5 for 46 as England cricket team regained Ashes with an innings and 225-run fourth test win over Australia and Melbourne. That caught me off guard. We went from boxing to cricket.
Yeah, well, I thought we were boxing. What happened?
Yeah, well, see, we've spoken about, people, baseball players, well, not really baseball, but basketball players playing baseball and, people playing other sports and all that stuff. And it's just I never conceived of somebody playing cricket, outside of
no.
If you're a boxer and you're playing cricket, that's interesting. 1913, the 13th Dalai Lama proclaimed Tibetan independence following a period of domination by Macau Qing dynasty and initiated a period of almost 4 decades of independence until the freaking commies came over. 1914, American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, ASCAP, was founded at the Hotel Claridge in New York City. That's pretty cool. It was estimated to reject the copyrighted musical compositions of its members. So it was to protect everybody's, intellectual properties and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. 1916, Albert Einstein presented Carl Schwarzschild's solution to his equations for a then theoretical black hole in the Prussian Academy of Sciences. And I told myself to image search.
So what's someone proving his theory? Is that what he's saying?
Let me see this. What does it say? Solution to his equations for a then... So Carl Schwarzschild had some equation, and then Albert Einstein solved the equation.
I thought it was the other way around.
Okay, so Albert Einstein presented Carl Schwarzschild's solution to his equation. Actually, no, yeah, you're right. So Carl Schwarzschild made the solution to his equations for then. This is written weirdly.
Yeah.
So
It's confusing.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, this is what I wanted to read. Within just 1 to 2 months, tried to apply Einstein's theory to a star, calculated the curvature of space-time for a spherical, non-spinning star. Einstein was impressed and presented Schwarzschild's results. So Einstein presented this guy's results.
Yeah.
His elegant calculations are still used today. The Schwarzschild space-time geometry.
Ooh,
nice.
Huge.
That is huge. 1920, Baseball Hall of Famer Rube Foster and 7 other team owners created the first Negro National League, NNL, at a meeting in Kansas City, YMCA. Nice. 1920, the League of Nations recognized perpetual neutrality of Switzerland, allowing Switzerland to rejoin the league and basically live, without any scathing from any world wars. 1923, first black pro basketball team, Renaissance, organized. All right. Hey, I wonder if they chose this calendar date intentionally, just 3 years after the baseball's Negro League formed. Then we have the first black basketball team.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Making things, for black people.
Yeah.
Like different sports teams and different things like that. I don't know.
Well, it's not a league; it's a team.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not
like
making
the
a league.
Globetrotters. They go around, and I don't know who they're going to play, but they're going to play somebody.
I understand a team is not a league.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, did this team specifically decide to organize on this calendar date on the exact third anniversary of the founding of this? I'm just thinking. 1925, U.S. Congress made Supreme Court appeals more difficult. 1928, legendary Norwegian speed skater Ivar Ballengrud won the first of 2 straight 5,000-meter Olympic gold medals when he defeated Julius Skutanab of Finland by 9 seconds in St. Maurice. 9 seconds. So he was first, and the second guy was 9 seconds later. That's a huge time.
Yeah, and what was the distance on the race again?
5,000 meters.
It's still a big
9
big
seconds.
Gap.
Yeah.
That's a big gap. That's a big win. I mean, he crushed him.
Yeah. 1929, Cruiser Act USA approved the construction of 19 new cruisers and an aircraft carrier. All right. 1931, the British Raj completed a transfer from Calcutta to New Delhi, moving the capital and everything, which I think the New Delhi is still the capital of India. 1932, a 2-2 final round tie with the U.S. was good enough for Canada to clinch its 4th consecutive Olympic ice hockey gold medal at the Lake Placid Canadian Centre, or at the Lake Placid Games. Canadian center Walter Monson was the tournament top scorer with 11 points. 1935, Bruno Hauptmann was found guilty of kidnap and murder of Lindbergh infant. He proclaimed his innocence to the end. I believe he was innocent because, I've said this before. Charles Lindbergh, everybody, anyone who knows of the name knows that he's a aeronautical hero of the United States. He was a outspoken Nazi sympathizer and supporter. He hated the Jews. And he tried to advocate for us to join the Nazis in their war against the rest of Europe and their persecution of the Jewish people. On top of that, about a week before the child went missing, and this is documented, if you don't believe me, as I always say, never believe me. Use me as a springboard for your own self-education. About roughly a week before the child vanished, Lindbergh did a prank on his wife by climbing a ladder, going in through his own son's window, and this is when he's a little kid, baby,
Yes.
and taking him out, and then trying to scare his wife. Oh, our child's missing, yada yada. Oh, just kidding, ha, got you. People believe that, especially because when they found the kid, he had a lot of, he had some blunt force trauma to the head. They believe he was trying to pull the prank again. He lost grip. The kid fell on his head, died, and then he, used his celebrity and his status to blame some Joe and got away with it.
Bruno's the fall guy.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, and I wouldn't put it past a Nazi supporter to do that to their own kid, to their own wife, to be that evil. 1935, the first U.S. surgical operation for relief of angina pectoris was performed in Cleveland. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds disgusting.
It sounds like you said a woman's body part.
Angina. It's
pretty close.
Yeah, well, I'm missing the V, but still. 1937, Prince Valiant comic strip appeared, known for historical detail. 37 as well, Boston Redskins received approval from NFL to move to Washington, D.C. to share baseball's Griffith Stadium with the first Washington Senators of the American League.
Because the Washington Redskins, that was their name until a few years ago when they had to get politically correct.
Well, that was their name because of all the stupid, liberal white people. Despite all the Native Americans saying it's fine. Oh, no. Shut up, non-white people. We white people in our guilt want to let you know that we know what's right for you. Yeah. What?
I almost look at it as an honor.
They chose it. They a Native American artist drove the freaking the logo, whatever it's called. Yeah. We have no right to get offended for other people's behalf. White people need to shut the fuck up. Seriously. And back off. 1941, Nazi leaders attacked Dutch Jewish Council. 1942, Germany's planned invasion of England, Operation Sea Lion, was canceled by Adolf Hitler. And this was a map of it. And now keep in mind, you obviously know of the Higgins craft and everything. Mm-hmm. But they didn't have anything like that. The Higgins craft, it was I'm not sure how much you know or remember of what I've said before in the past, but he was designing a flat-bottom, low-draft boat for the Everglades, or for something like that.
Yes, that's right.
And, that actually evolved into, the giant propeller thing in the back that people go around on nowadays. Mm-hmm. But the bottom of the boat of those are the same as the Higgins craft. With Sea Lion, much like how naval invasions have been done for thousands of years, they were just going to get from, the ships onto basically rowboats, go on the beach, and then go from there. Could you imagine, they would just get decimated?
Yeah.
The Higgins craft, we had the whole thing, the drop down and then, just go. Now the drop down, that's a death sentence. Nowadays, we have, fully encased armored things that have things in the back for people to come out from the back and then seek cover.
You go from sea to land, too.
Yeah. And we actually had some of those, in the Pacific Theater. Kind of sort of like Higgins craft, but they had big tracks and everything, and they had a thing in the back, so the predecessors to what we have today. Anyway, in 1943, German assault on Sidi Bouzid, Tunisia. General Dwight D. Eisenhower visited the front. How about that? Leaders actually sticking their neck out for the people they lead. 1943, the Women's U.S. Marine Corps was created. All right. Some representation.
The women's U.S. Marine Corps.
They want to serve, let them serve. Maybe they might not be strong enough, to lug a machine gun, while under fire, but we can find jobs for them. They're just as useful, if not even more so. Treating the people on their way back, actually, there's I just want to bring something up here really quick, and I haven't brought up this channel in a while. History Bombs World War I. There's this one line in it that I absolutely love. Let me bring this here. Let's see. Here it is. Right here.
Let's get you to a nurse. Behind the front line, volunteer nurses tended to the injured soldiers. Both at home and on the front line, women made tremendous contributions to the war effort.
Hold still, deep breaths, I'll soon be through. It's barbaric what they've done to you.
Oh, thank you, miss. You're a real pearl. God, these trenches, no place for a girl.
Neither are they fit for a man, but we're here to help the best we can. And who do you think manufactured your gun? Us girls will see this war is won.
Hell yes. Just because, we're not physically equal, we're not this equal, we're not that equal, doesn't mean we can't work together. The whole point is to find our own strengths and bring up others that would be their weaknesses. So, anyway, 1945, Allied planes began bombing the German city of Dresden, resulting in a devastating firestorm that destroyed the city and killed over 22,000 people.
Wow.
Dresden, one of the, I'll just bring up this image.
They leveled it.
Well, look at that.
Oh.
They did.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't look, but, if you really look, there's no roofs.
Yeah.
It's all just husks, dude.
Yeah.
Even the statues, what the fuck happened here? Here, you can see it really good right there.
Yeah.
Annihilated. 45 as well. Soviet forces captured Budapest after a 50-day battle with Nazi Germany that killed 159,000 people. Thought Dresden was bad.
Yeah.
Yikes, man. Yeah. The siege of Budapest concluded with the unconditional surrender of German and Hungarian forces to the Red Army. 48, the Wright Flyer, the first plane to fly, or the first plane to get the coverage of flying, because there's some things that have said that some people were able to take flights before the Wright brothers, but the Wright brothers got the press. So it returned to the U.S. from England. So it apparently went on a tour. Not under its own power, of course. 51, yeah, that would have been cool, though, to fly in a plane carrying, that thing, being wow. Like, dude, that'd be surreal. Like, being in the descendant of something it's carrying. That would have been magnificent. And to be the pilot of that flight, woo! 51, during the Korean War, the Battle of Shipang-yi, which represented the high water mark of the Chinese incursion into South Korea, commenced. 54, U.S. college basketball player Frank Selvey scored a record 100 points for Furman, beating Newberry 149-95, becoming the only NCAA Division I basketball player to ever score 100 points in a single game.
Wow.
Nice.
I never knew he did that.
Now you do. 1955, Israel acquired 4 of the ultimately 7 now discovered Dead Sea Scrolls. 1960, France became the 4th nuclear nation by detonating its first device, a 70-kiloton Gerbois Bleu atomic bomb in the Algerian Sahara Desert. Yep. 61, Soviet Union fired a rocket from Sputnik 5 to Venus. I didn't realize they...
Wow.
Now, hold on a second. They fired a rocket from Sputnik 5, so that means they launched something into space, and then they launched something from that.
From that, yeah.
Now, does that mean that they were trying to have a weapons platform in orbit?
Well, they were trying to see if it would work. I don't think that was the intent.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, they're testing it, but that's the prototype to eventually have that up there. I would imagine.
That's very worrisome.
I had never heard that before.
Yeah, that
just shocked me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were treaties and things, like the Star Wars, not the movies, but the actual the space race. There were treaties about not just a non-nuclearization proliferation treaty or whatever in space, but there will be no weapons, no missiles, no bombs, no anything, nothing.
Yeah.
And because of that technicality, are you aware of the theory of kinetic? Not even the theory, but the idea of kinetic bombardment.
I know of it somewhere back there. Yeah.
Well, you know what tungsten is, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you can get
that's the dropping rods.
Yeah, a tungsten rod. About the size of a telephone pole. Yeah. It's not a weapon. You're not launching it. You're not sending an explosive. It's nothing. You're just dropping a thing into the, and it's terrifying because that stays within the treaty, but it is a weapons platform that we have. Anyway, oh yeah, here we go. 1961, an allegedly 500,000-year-old rock was discovered near Olancha, California, which appeared to anachronistically encase a spark plug. Basically saying that this spark plug was dropped on the ground 500,000 years ago, and over the course of all this time, all this rock and mineral deposits built up around over it. So,
what are they calling a spark plug?
An actual spark plug. Look.
That makes no sense.
No, see, here's the thing, because you've heard of all sorts of things about time travel.
Yeah.
You know about the Antikythera mechanism?
No.
Well, I'll explain that at some other point, but basically it's a rock, but there's a spark plug inside of it. It's not carved out and somebody put in it, it was built around it. So it either says that there's one of 3 options as far as I'm aware right now. 1, this is a remnant of a civilization from 500,000 years ago that had spark plugs, at least, that type of technology. Mm-hmm. 2, it's a time travel. Someone went back there. Or 3, everything we know about everything essentially is a lie, because we say that, the geological buildup, because you can see, the thickness of the rock around it.
Yeah.
It will not take 500,000 years for that to build up. So everything we know about geology is a lie to cover up something. The existence of this, just in one way or another, tells us something that we know of reality is untrue. We just don't know what. So, 1967, U.S. researchers discovered the Madrid codices by Leonardo da Vinci in the National Library of Spain. And I want to image search this as well because there's it's more than just one image. Like it's like a whole book. It's a codices. So so different sketches and things.
Yeah.
There's like a drill thing here.
Oh yeah, and all kinds of stuff.
That appears to be a horse. Or
and
maybe
a lot of it they say it does work.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I loved was his tank design. He sabotaged it so that way.
Oh yeah.
That way it only moves in a circle.
Yeah.
So, in 1968, U.S. sent 10,500 additional soldiers to Vietnam. 1970, man-eating tiger was reported to have killed 48, 80 kilometers from New Delhi. That's not good. 1971, 12,000 South Vietnamese troops crossed into Laos. And we also have U.S. Vice President Spiro Agnew hit 2 tree shots into a crowd while golfing, injuring 2. That has got to be embarrassing beyond measure. Like, one is enough, and then the second one is like, okay, you're done. Go home. Yeah, like...
You didn't even have to play golf to be an embarrassment.
1972, the 11th Winter Olympic Games closed at Sapporo, Japan. In 73, U.S. dollar devalued 10%. All right. 74, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, Russian novelist and historian, was deported from the Soviet Union to Frankfurt, West Germany, and stripped of his Soviet citizenship. At least he didn't kill him.
Yeah, that's something.
In 1975, a fire broke out at One World Trade Center, also known as the North Tower in New York. 76, Peter Casselary of New Zealand hand-sheared a record 353 lambs in 9 hours. Wow. That's tough work. Just. 1979, Washington State's Hood Canal Bridge broke up in a windstorm. An intense windstorm struck western Washington and sunk a half-mile-long section of the Hood Canal Bridge. And you can see, this is from looking out onto it. You can see.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick it up initially.
Yeah, you see the road, and then it stops.
Yeah.
And then it starts again over there. There's not supposed to be a break.
Is that supposed to be water right there?
Gee.
I think you gotta slow down, dear.
If we can make it.
Yeah, we can do this.
1980, Apollo Computer Inc. was incorporated. And we have the 13th Winter Olympic Games opened in Lake Placid, New York. 1981, a series of sewer explosions destroyed more than 2 miles of streets in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, this next image is going to be big. It's a little blurry, but you can see there's a crater right here in the middle of an intersection. When you
I can
look
see
at the whole thing, there's another, what appears to be another crater over here. So just total devastation. That's terrifying. 1981, longest sentence published by the New York Times, 1,286 words. Not characters, but words. That is incredible. That's just one sentence. If I try to pull that, crap in school, I'd be slapped with a run-on sentence, demerit so quick. Let's see if I can open up this image in a new tab. Open. So basically...
That's all one sentence?
No, it's not.
No, again, it's paragraph and everything.
Yeah, no, there's punctuation, so this is not one sentence. Okay, well, I don't know. Anyway, moving on up to 1982, Pink Floyd's album, Dark Side of the Moon, marked 402 weeks on the Billboard Top 200 album charts, removed from primary source. 1984, a 6-year-old Texan, Stormy Jones, got the first heart and liver transplant.
Wow.
At 6 years old, that is delicate. Wow. 1985, Polish police arrested 7 Solidary leaders. That sounds like political shenanigans there. 1988, European Community planned removal of internal boundaries on January 1st, 92. 1988, the 15th Winter Olympic Games opened in Calgary, Canada. 1 year later, kidnapped Belgian Premier Vanden Boyenats was freed. 89 as well, Salvadorian army attacked Encarnados Hospital, raping and killing patients.
Jeez.
What the fuck? 1990, Larry Bird of the Celtics ended NBA free throw streak of 71 games. I don't know why. Every time I see him, he looks like a slightly bizarre, if somebody tries to draw Bill Clinton from memory, he looks like Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, he looks like if somebody
I'll never
just
see Larry Bird the same. Oh,
it just it just tries to draw Bill Clinton from memory. 1990, U.S., Britain, and France gave Germany an okay to unify. Speaking of what you were just talking about, during German reunification, an agreement was reached on a two-stage plan to reunite Germany. You brought that up. I forgot that this was here. Wow, that was awesome.
Yeah.
91, Syria told Germany they are ready to recognize Israel. I don't know why Syria is telling Germany, why Germany would give a shit who Syria recognizes. 91, a U.S. air raid on the Amiriyah shelter in Baghdad killed more than 408 civilians. During the Gulf War, 2 laser-guided smart bombs destroyed the Amiriyah shelter in Baghdad. Allied forces said the bunker was being used as a military communications outpost, but over 400 Iraqi civilians within were killed with murder just because of hate. You know?
Oh, we shouldn't have been there in the first place.
We shouldn't have. Well, you know, the towers fell and Al Qaeda claimed responsibility. Well, actually, no, this was before all that. Like you know, well, this was a Gulf War. I was only 4-something years old, so I have no idea what things were. I haven't really studied it, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that. The second time around, though, I vehemently say that, like, absolutely not. We should not have gone in there a second time. Because what the hell does Saddam Hussein have to do with bin Laden?
Yeah.
91, U.S. bombs Iraqi air raid shelter, killing 334. So that's from this, same thing there. 92, Jose Canseco repeatedly rammed his Porsche into a wife Escher's BMW. He was mad. 96, British boy band, Take That, officially announced, let me quotate that there, that they are disbanding, prompting the UK government to set up counseling phone lines. How sad and pathetic and miserable do you have to be where your own world shatters to the point where you need counseling if a band disbands?
Yeah.
You know, I would say eat a gun, but I'm concerned that you actually would. Get a fucking life. Find a hobby and, you know, make your world and the world around you better. You know, I'm doing my show here. You're watching it. You go do something, you know? Yeah. 996, Death Row / Interscope Records released rapper Tupac Shakur's 4th studio album, All Eyes on Me, his final release during his lifetime, suggesting that there were posthumous releases, which of course, you know, somebody like him would have some. Like, he was amazing, you know, or at least very popular. Like, there's been a lot of people, especially the Beatles, have posthumous releases. Mm-hmm. Remember, what was it, 2023, where we finally got the final Beatles song or something?
Something, yeah, I don't remember.
But like, you know, they were able to, with technology, to get the piano out from his voice
with what they had.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
96, the Nepalese Civil War was initiated in the Kingdom of Nepal by the Communist Party of Nepal, Maoist Center. Of course, it's always the commies. 97 as well, Space Shuttle Discovery captured the Hubble Space Telescope in its cargo bay. That's awesome, because with that, it could bring it back down to Earth. Mm-hmm. You know. And we can either launch it back up, the way we, you know, or we can, you know, secure it back in the bay of the space shuttle, and then, so that's awesome. We have a way to bring stuff back and forth. That is wicked awesome. The Great Lego Spill, a rogue wave hit a cargo ship Tokyo Express off the coast of Cornwall, England, tipping 62 containers into the sea, carrying 4.8 million pieces of Lego. They're still washing up to this day. I've seen several videos. There's the Lego Beach. And there's, you know, to this day, there's like Lego Beach, Cornwall, England. Here we go. Here, this is a better image. Obviously, like, you know, rounded and warped, you know, by the tides, everything, you know, the longer it's out there, the worse it gets. But here's a great example. You have, like, you know, interesting, this is actually a seaweed Lego piece. Yeah. And then here's one that looks all chewed up, you know, that they found from the beach to provide an example. Yeah. But stuff like this is washing up all the time. Here's somebody's personal collection. Wow. You can see that there's sand chunks on it, so you can tell that, you know, they're finding it. You know, she's holding it. Here's a pirate sword, you know, with some pebbles and everything.
Looks like a nice beach. I mean,
yeah, well, it's a
beach.
standard beach, you know.
Yeah.
But like, you know, we've been to the beach, and you know, we've seen, you know, sites like this, but there's Lego in there. That's wild. 2000. Robert Wilson and Lou Reed's avant-garde opera Poetry, based on the life and work of Edgar Allan Poe, premiered at the Thalia Theater in Hamburg, Germany.
No, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah.
At least in English, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to sit through a German production of it.
9. Year 2000 as well, the last original Peanuts comic strip appeared in newspapers one day after Charles M. Schultz died. May you rest in peace. 2001, an earthquake measuring a 6.6 on the Richter scale rocked El Salvador, killing at least 400 people. Our other source used to say 7.6 with 944 deaths, but they have edited it to 6.6 to mirror the primary source, but they have reduced theirs down to 315 people. So I'm getting a lot of weird discrepancies. You know,
well, 9.6 would be unbelievable.
No, 7.6.
7.6. Okay.
The 9 was 944 deaths.
Oh, okay.
So, 2004, the Harvard Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics discovered the universe's largest known diamond, a white dwarf star BPM 37093. Astronomers named the star Lucy after the Beatles song Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. 2007, Taiwan opposition leader Ma Ying-jeou resigned as chairman of the Kuomintang Party after being indicted by Taiwan High Prosecutor's Office on charges of embezzlement when mayor of Taipei, when mayor of Taipei. Ma also announced his candidacy for 2008 presidential election. Whoops. We also have Australian Prime Minister in the year 2008. Kevin Rudd made an historic apology to Indigenous Australians, especially to the stolen generations who suffered forced child removal and assimilation. Oh man, like words cannot even begin to express how horrendous. They separated families. They took children away from Indigenous people, and because they believed the white people could teach them better, and they put them with white foster families, and did this for generations. And oh my Christ, you know, like, you know, people these days are going around saying, you know, oh blah blah, white supremacy, you know, white guilt, white this, white that. You don't know what we could do, you know. Like, we've learned from the mistakes, and you're trying to keep them, you know, like, alive. Do you want it to happen again? You know? Let's not do this. 2009, Unix time passed, 1,234,567... Actually, no, 1,234,567,890 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0 seconds, and exactly 23, 31, 30 UTC on February 13, 2009. I found that interesting. Perfect alignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. You know, like on the keyboard here. 2011, for the first time in over a century, which is 100 years, the Umatilla, a Native American tribe, were able to hunt and harvest a bison just outside Yellowstone National Park, restoring a centuries-old tradition guaranteed by a treaty signed in 1855. Fucking A! Hell yeah!
Yeah, that's not good for the bison, but at least there's enough there now to do it.
Yeah, I mean, like...
They were endangered before that.
I mean, for, like, see, this is what I've been saying. What we did to the Native Americans was horrendous. Don't get me wrong, okay? However, when comparison to so many other things, like, you know, like the lost generations of Australia we spoke about too, God knows how many entire peoples we'll never know about because their existence was wiped off through genocide and erasure. In comparison, I'm not saying that, you know, that their life is cushy, but in comparison, the natives got off very easy. No, you know, they're still alive. Hey, silver lining to every black cloud, you know? Take everything that you can, you know? And to be allowed to be, not allowed, but to be able to do what you were denied, you know, like for hundreds of years, and, you know, they're getting it back. Like, you know, like, this is what I'm saying. White people, and, you know, every people is you know, has had their sin. But we know... Like we've done it all, and we know the horrible things, and we're trying to reconcile. And this, I think, is a great thing. You know, we're bringing back culture to a people that we took it away from, rather than completely annihilate them. You know?
What you can't ignore, though. Okay, they didn't get annihilated. Great, wonderful. You know, the white man came along and devastated the bison.
Absolutely.
They just hunted them for the fur and left the meat out there. The Indians couldn't believe that.
I'm not saying that we didn't.
Did it. They just took what they needed to survive. Fur was good, the meat was necessary, and everything else. And they came out here and devastated the bison.
But see, that's why I'm saying, like, the silver lining of the black cloud of all the atrocities that the white man has done is the fact that we have learned from our mistakes. And we're trying to not only reconcile, but teach others before they follow our path. You know? And we're keeping, you know, we didn't genocide them, is my point. You know?
Yeah, but you can't make that as a good news.
I'm not saying it's a good news. I'm saying it's better than complete annihilation. You know, what I'm saying is look at the bright side of things. Even in the darkest of dark, it's always darkest before dawn. You know, like. Anyway, 2012, the European Space Agency, aka ESA, conducted the first launch of the European Vega rocket from the Europe spaceport in Kourou, French Guiana. 2013, 10 civilians, including 3 children, were killed by a NATO airstrike in the Kunar province, Afghanistan. 2014, Japanese figure skater Yuzuru Hanya was the first to break 100 points barrier in the short program, getting 101.45 points at the Sochi Winter Olympics on the way to the men's singles gold medal. All right. 2014 as well, slopestyle freestyle skiing event made Olympic debut at Sochi Winter Games. U.S. Jos Christinen was inaugural men's gold medalist. All right. 2017, Kim Jong-nam, brother of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, not King, but Kim Jong-un, was assassinated at Kuala Lumpur International Airport. I wasn't going to write Orange County. Yeah. And, you know, it's just instantly, oh, look, they nearly missed. George Carlin?
No, it's a near hit.
It's a near hit. You know, I could get it. You know, like they missed nearly, but it's not. It's not a miss near. It's not a near miss. It's
not
a near
hit. Miss, it's
a near hit. A near miss implies they almost missed, but not quite, as George Carlin said.
Yeah.
So, thankfully though, Mr. Ford here did not explode. 2018, Israeli police report recommended Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu be prosecuted on bribery, fraud, and breach of trust charges. This is what I've been saying. Netanyahu, he is a weasel piece of shit. Like, you know, he's the reason why I don't like Israel. You know?
Wow.
Because he wants a total annihilation of the Palestinian people in Gaza and everything. Like, we've gone over articles where he said, you know what? I'll look him up right here. I'll just read this one. No.
Let's move on.
Hold on a second. He said something about, you know, total annihilation. Like, let's see here. Where is it? Something in here. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu rejected Hamas's ceasefire proposal, saying he will continue until total victory, saying forces will push further south into the city of Rafah. Yeah. He's bloodthirsty.
No,
yes.
My God.
Anyway, 2018, South Africa declared a 3-year drought at a national disaster, though pushes Cape Town's total day 0 to June 4th. Cape Town. That's a... Cape Town. They misspelled right here. So, 2019, Flinders River swole to 37 miles wide, 60 kilometers, creating its own weather system after intense flooding in Queensland, Australia. Yikes. 2019, Iran marked 40th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution with huge street marches and protests against the U.S. Yeah, how are they doing today, huh? Aren't we annihilating Iran right now?
No, we're not doing anything to them. We're negotiating. We have our second aircraft carrier fleet come into the area. They got so much firepower in there. It's unreal.
Yeah. 2019 as well. NASA confirmed Mars Opportunity rover's mission has ended after 15 years due to a sandstorm damaging its communications. 2020, scientists overturned current thoughts about how planets formed, suggesting they form not by violent collision, but through gentle clumping based on the study of Auroch in the Kuiper Belt, published in Science. Like, you know, that would make sense, because, like, you know, you think about, like, you know, you have atoms, and then you have atoms, you know, come together and then forming molecules, and you have dust particles and everything. But then eventually you will have, like, you know, like, I think it's both. you know, there is gradual, but then you have like other things that have gradually built up. Inevitably, things will collide, you know, and
well, to add to that, and this is just an opinion, I have no factual backing on this at all. The clumping thing that you talk about, I think that's the norm.
yeah.
And then you're going to have accidents, which would be collisions.
Yeah, well, like eventually you have so many things that have, you know, gently created, like one or two of them will violently collide, and then they'll merge, and then, you know, then we have planets and all that stuff. 2021, archaeologists announced the discovery of the oldest known beer factory in Abydos, Egypt, from the early dynastic period 3150 BC to 2613 BC. That's some old beer right there.
Yeah.
2021, former U.S. President Trump was acquitted in his second Senate impeachment trial on charge of incitement of insurrection after senators voted 57 to 43 in favor and conviction, less than the 2/3 majority required for impeachment.
You know, they keep using that insurrection word.
Yeah.
And
well, because they want to
no.
do an insurrection, but they want everybody to focus on him while, you know, oh, what is this? A distraction. You know, they're blaming everything on, and I'm not trying to defend Trump. I trust Trump as much as I trust Hillary. But he is a scapegoat, you know, for everyone to point a finger at and blame him while he's doing defense and everyone else, the public, is focused on him. The Democrats, the left, the liberals, they're all doing horrible atrocities, carte blanche, because nobody's looking at them.
Go to Minnesota and see what you think.
Well, like, they're finally...
you missed my point. They've used the word insurrection endlessly in that whole thing. Nobody is ever charged with insurrection. You
well,
know
because
insurrection
they're
is?
trying to
Death
get
penalty.
they're trying to get people incited. You know, they're trying to get.
That's not.
The left is trying to
something.
incite an insurrection by accusing him of trying to do so. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They accuse him of doing what they're trying to do.
Yeah, true enough.
You know, it's a way for them to do what they want to do, you know, without getting in trouble for it. 2021, a major winter storm caused blackouts and killed at least 82 people in Texas and northern Mexico.
Jeez.
I remember that. 2022, Canadian police arrest truckers who have protested a vaccine mandate for blocking Ambassador's Bridge between Detroit and Windsor for a week at the busiest land border crossing in North America, the honkening. Yeah. Well, maybe you don't force things like that. You stupid Canada. 2022 Super Bowl LVI, SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. IOYO was filmed briefly swallowing a man on a kayak off Chilean Patagonia before releasing him unharmed. That was a terrifying thing. It's not hunting him, but it's just, you know, he just so happened to be above krill and it just scooped him up with the whole thing. It cannot actually eat a person, so, you know, he spat him out. But still, that's kind of scary for a while.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Actually, let's see if I can bring this up, because it is a terrifying sight, and this is one of the reasons why I have mild thalassophobia, which is a fear of the ocean. Let's see here if I can find it. Okay, it's a stupid short, but whoa! Goodbye. That is nightmarish.
Hey.
That's scary. That is so scary. Oh man, I would shit my pants so fast. 2025 as well, Cristiano Ronaldo was the world's highest paid athlete in 2024, earning $260 million, followed by Stephen Curry and Tyson Fury, with no women in the top 100 list compiled by Sportico. That kind of sucks, but, you know, like, you're paid what you earn.
Well, who puts butts in the seats? That's how they're getting paid.
Yep. Yeah. Like, I just want to
eyeballs on the TV.
Yeah. I just want to bring up.
I'm not knocking men or women. That's just.
I know. No. I just want to bring up how hilarious it was when, like, you know, the WNBA, like, they're all going on about pay us what we owe, pay us what we owe. You actually owe us.
Yeah.
So how about you pay us what we owe?
Whoever came up with. There's so many things you could.
They are so egomaniacal. They can't.
So many things you could have used as a slogan, and that was probably the worst.
You know,
the word "oh" was just stupid.
You know, if there's ever a time to prove,
and then they're trying to kill the golden goose that came in their league.
If there's ever a time to prove the stereotype that women just do not know how to keep their mouths shut, that is it. So. 2025, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was confirmed as Health and Human Services Secretary by the U.S. Senate after concerns over his anti-vaccine views. Well,
Boy, even one of the Kennedy family came out and railed on him.
Yeah, aren't they rhinos?
Huh?
Are they rhinos or are they all libtards?
Kennedys?
The Kennedys, yeah.
No, rhinos. They were Democrats.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Because he's a raging environmentalist, isn't he? Or has he eased up on that?
I don't know.
RFK Jr.
I don't know, but he's really about all the food and everything that's in our stuff in our food is what he's going after now.
And last but not least, just this time last year, U.S. National Park Service quietly removed all references to transgender and queer people from Stonewall National Monument website. Good. Enough of this woke madness. Enough. Believe what you want to believe. Keep it in your pants. And just fuck off.
Keep
Seriously.
your private life private.
Yeah. And that shall conclude the show today. Once again, please check the underbar of the description for anything that you may find interesting, including but not limited to things Omni Coalition. I'm screwing all that up. For your dose of past events daily, we stream every day at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. That is 6 Mountain, right? 7 Central. And 8 p.m. Eastern. Central always screws me up. How can we call it Central when it's not in the center?
Yeah.
With Central, there has to be something between Central and Eastern, but that's what's fucking me up. So,
there's only 4, so there's no center.
I know. No. Anyway, for all of you and all of us, I'm Alexander.
Golden Loon.
And you. Until you catch us next time, whenever that is, wherever that is, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection. Rate 5 subs and subscribe. Toodles! Where's the thing? Here's the thing.